Sumo Kaboom.
Sumo Kaboom.
Where we talk about all things sumo.
That's right. And we are back in the closet studio today. Both of us in the same place.
I know. I don't know if we told anybody that in the past, but I was out of town for 5 weeks. And so now we're back in the closet, our sumo studio.
That's right.
AKA Mom and Dad's closet.
That's right. And this week we are talking about slow risers to the top.
That's right.
If you're wondering what that means,
risers.
We'll find out.
That's right.
But first I want to say bingo's coming out. By the time this episode goes live, we should have 500 cards out there and available for you to pick up and join us in Sumo Bingo. Happens every basho. It's super fun way to engage with sumo, especially if you're brand new to the sport. It helps you learn all the wrestlers. Anyway, you get a card, you play bingo. Once you get a row of like 5 across, up, down, diagonal of the same kind of bingo. Anyway, if you want to know more, check out our website.
Right.
And go get yourself a card.
That's right. It's pretty simple, but we've had many people ask us the basics of bingo. And surprisingly, I thought it was just a universal game across the world, but apparently not.
Apparently not.
Go to sumokaboom.com and you can find the bingo rules there.
Yeah. And big thank you to Big Sumo Fan who provides many of our prizes. Mm-hmm. And big thank you to Leslie who also provides some of our prizes.
I'm back in town and ready to jam.
Ready to jam.
I don't know what I'm going to make jam of, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So it should be coming your way if you happen to win. Oh, I want to give a little shout out thank you to whoever our nice person was. I won't reveal their name because they may not want their name revealed, but someone sent the most adorable little Sumo Kyokai fan club bag to us. And
us.
Well,
in quotations. It's to Leslie.
Well, it's most likely for us, but only one person can use the bag, but I will gladly share. But maybe I'm just the one who had the address, but thank you. Whoever our kind person is, who shall not be named.
It's a cute bag.
It's adorable. And I fully intend on putting little things in it and walking all around town, just like Shogai has his little purse.
Yes. When I go to Japan, I'm going to buy my own little sumo bag. And so then we can have matching bags.
That's right. Well, if we get over there sooner or later, we're putting it out there to the world. We need to get over there to Japan to see some sumo in person. Unfortunately, but fortunately, Laurie and I keep working.
March next year is looking good.
Maybe. I mean, I could go in November, but I just got to get, okay, she can't go in November, but
maybe January, maybe March.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that means one of us is not going to be, both of us have to not be working. Anyway, long story short, it's hard for us to get over there. But I don't know, maybe if, for instance, one of the wrestlers wants an American girlfriend.
Call us up,
fly me over, and you can wine and dine me, and I will be your girlfriend for a week if I just get to watch you a sumo. And then, but I do have to explain that to my boyfriend, so it does get tricky. But anyway, I'm open for all offers, especially from any single sumo wrestlers.
There you go.
I guess it's time for a news flash. Don't know if you heard this. Meisei is now a movie star. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
He is in a movie called Hello, Mother. Mm-hmm. Hello, Mother. Hello, Father.
Oh, I thought maybe it was
from Camp Hiawatha.
Horror movie, because that sounds like a horror movie.
Hello, Mother.
Yes, doesn't it?
No, he apparently just plays a rikishi who is in a store buying a pair of tabi, which are like those little hoof socks. You know, the little part, they're like dissected or bisected little sockies
that
cute. Are adorable. Mm-hmm. I don't know how comfortable they are to wear.
They must be super comfortable.
I guess. But he plays a guy in a store buying a rikishi buying tabi socks. So that's much bigger than anything I've ever done.
I'm hoping that they're going to have a scene with him at the counter speaking to the person selling the socks because he has that lovely deep voice
he has a velvet.
That all the women are just crazy for over there.
He has a velvety sort of voice.
Someone's like saying something like, extra large, please.
I don't know. He might have small feet. We'll see. I don't know. He says, though, it's a good movie, but he'd like everyone to see it, but he'd prefer to be known for his sumo, not for his movie stardom.
Okay, I get it.
I don't know how big this scene is, but at least he didn't make the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
You know, he says, if possible, please go and see the movie. And he has not seen it other than in the stable, but he had a private copy.
Oh, he did?
And he said it was good, but he would encourage people to go out to the movie theater and see Hello, Mother.
If he got a private copy, it's a bigger role than I assumed.
Well,
like, if it's big enough for them to be like, here's your very own copy, then he's got some lines in
I
there.
imagine it has to be. They called him up and they were like, we need a Rikishi. And we need a good one who's going to be good in this.
Yeah.
He didn't audition. It's not like Meisei's going through Casting Frontier every day going, I'm submitting for this.
Right. I'm 6'1". I'm such and such pounds.
Here's my
I
acting
am
resume.
available, but only after about 3 p.m. every day.
Well, anyway, check out the movie. Hakuoho, our monster of Reiwa, has had surgery on his left shoulder on August 31st. So he is clearly going to be out of the Aki tournament. He is out, and he and Miyagano Oyakata, aka Hakuho, has been very, very verbal about all of this. And both of the men are like, yeah, he had surgery on the other shoulder. Remember we talked about that.
Oh, it was the other shoulder.
Well, before he joined Sumo, he had surgery, and then he was like, I'm going to heal, and then I'm going to join Sumo.
Yeah. So, oh my God, he's a transformer now.
Yes.
He's got both shoulders.
Well, Hakuho had said, and this is kind of loosely translated, basically his shoulders, I guess, have really small sockets or joints. I don't know. They say, he said it's like really tiny shoulder joints. Some of us were blessed with big joints, and some of us were not.
That just seems like such an excuse. I'm sorry.
I know, but it said, here's the translation.
Just have small shoulder sockets. I can't fit my large muscles upon my small shoulder sockets.
Well, this is a terrible translation. It says the bones are chipped off. So I don't know if he had, in these sockets through overuse, just chipped away at the cartilage or whatever the deal is. But he had the same surgeon work on the other shoulder, which the other one has not given him any issues. So he is fully prepared, and Miyagano Oyakata has also said the same. He'll fall down. He's going to probably have to take at least 6 months off. He'll fall down to Makushita, but he says the main goal is for him to become a Yokozuna. He does not care about being a Maegashira wrestler. He cares about becoming his dream, which is a Yokozuna. So he's like, I will take gladly 6 months out. I will happily come back in time, just completely healed, so that I can go for my dream. So it's good. He's young, and hopefully, he'll rebound quickly.
Well, the shoulder is a delicate joint.
That's right. And when you have tiny joints, you got to do something about it.
That's
when you're the monster of Reiwa.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Hakaku Oyakata, formerly known as Hokuto Umi, Yokozuna, from many years ago, he had his Kanreki Doyo Iri, which is basically his 60th birthday, and he got all dressed up in his beautiful red Suna, or the belt, the Yokozuna belt, and he did a Doyo Iri, and his is the Unru style. So he did that actually after what I'm about to tell you about, the Keiko, the YDC Keiko, joint Keiko. It was to celebrate his 60th birthday, and he looked great in his red belt.
He did.
And his attendants were Okina Umi and Hokuto Fuji. So this is also the 30th anniversary of his stable. So he has had 105 disciples through those years, and many of them were in the audience. So it was over 4,000 people, and it was very successful. So I have not seen the videos of it yet. It said maybe he did the first one good and the second one he slipped a little, but I haven't seen anything.
It's in our Instagram. Thank you to our listeners for sending us a copy of this. It's in our Instagram.
Awesome.
And it's a great video. He looks great.
That's fun. But prior to that event at the Kokugi-Con, the big event of the weekend was the Keiko Soken, is what it's called, which is basically a joint or a group exercise workout, and it is for the benefit of the YDC. So in the past, they have it regularly, but this is the first time in 4 years that it was open to the public. So this had over 4,000 people there because I think Hakaku's retirement coincided with this. It was intentional, I think.
Sorry, it's not a retirement. That was my bad.
Not retirement, but his 60th birthday. He has to retire in 5 years, but he's got a little bit more gas in the tank.
Yeah.
But anyway, so over 4,000 people came out, and it's a free event for the public. The last time they did one was 4 years ago. And I kind of looked back at the history of these kind of events. And from what I gather from what this is, you've seen the videos of this. It happens before every tournament. It's just all the guys, all in white belts. They're all just clamoring for a spot to fight whoever, and they're quite aggressive for it. And there's usually like a large, like, riser area of a bunch of guys in suits. And that is the YDC plus top members of the NSK or the JSA, all the wrestlers and the coaches. But it's basically to observe and to kind of comment on the state of a Yokozuna, and also to check the progress of everyone else and who is most likely to perhaps become a Yokozuna in the future. So they kind of go all in on this to parade about. But what I found interesting in some of the other articles I read from years past, some of these past years, they've had 8,000 people at the Kokugi-Con to see this.
Wow.
And it starts at 7:30 in the morning. People get there at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to get in line to get in to see this thing. Because I think it's open seating. You can probably sit wherever you want. But I don't know. I might be making that up. It's true Leslie fashion. But anyway, this year held in public, and it was successful. And so the YDC, though, afterwards, and even sometimes during these things, the coaches and JSA chairmen will comment, and it's very public. It is very open for everyone to hear and comment on. The YDC chairman often says afterwards, like, what they think of the wrestlers, and they can be brutal. It's like American Idol. Or it's like
Simon Cowell.
Yes.
It's like everyone's Simon Cowell.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the YDC, the Yokozuna Deliberation Council chairman. He will also be like, Taka Keisho looked like crap. This is from some of the ones in the past. Kiseno Sato basically looked terrible. This other guy looked really, really good. He's looking like and this time around, I think they, in a nutshell, said that Kiribayama or Kirishima was the one most likely to look like he's possible for Yokozuna. The only one that they really saw was closest to.
Remind me, they didn't say very nice things about Teruno Fuji, did they?
No, I think overall what I'm seeing in the papers and what people have said about Teruno Fuji is he has said, my knees are better, but my back is still crap.
Yeah.
And so the Yokozunas can go to these things, but they don't necessarily... They don't have to perform. They want to if they're healthy, but it's also a chance for them to get hurt. So in the past, like Hakaho was admonished in front of everyone because he showed up to the Soken, and then he wasn't fighting or lending his chest to anyone, and he was injured. That's why.
Yeah.
And then Hakaku, the chairman of the JSA, yelled at him, "Get out there," and basically let me see you fight.
Yeah.
And so Hakaho chose Shodai, an easy opponent at that time, to spar with. Yeah. And Hakaku and the YDC wanted to see him up against an Ozeki. And he was like, I don't care.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Thanks, but no thanks. So, and I think that may be the same case with Teruno Fuji. It's like he's a Yokozuna. He's always going to hear pressure from them. And they're just this outside board of, business executives who have strong opinions. So he showed up, but I'm sure... like in that fashion, they want him to perform and perform at his best, but he's injured. So why would he just to show off? But they want to see the state of the Yokozuna. They want to see the state of everyone coming up and how good they're looking.
Okay.
So,
and there are women on this board.
Yes.
I do want to say I saw a photo and there are some women on that sort of riser table, which I was delighted to see. And they've got their pad and their pen and they're writing down notes. Yeah. We have joked that it's Oprah Winfrey on that board. I wish it was.
You get a car. You get a car. You become a Yokozuna. You become a Yokozuna. But anyway, I thought that was really interesting though, that oftentimes afterwards just they spill the tea on on everyone and let everyone know how they feel about everyone's performance. So, and I imagine some people take it seriously and some don't. But anyway, kind of interesting, right?
Yep. Very interesting.
And during that Soken, or the joint Keiko practice with the YDC, Nishikigi was there.
Yeah.
And we have some injuries going around, but he was doing Butsuskari and he unfortunately hurt his right calf. And so he's going to be making his debut at Sanyaku. So he was quoted as saying, I think I pulled a muscle. I was doing really well today until now this, and he was feeling pretty bummed out. And so he was giving it his all, and it's just kind of like sad. But he said he's planning on being there for the tournament and going all out and getting his kachikoshi. So I hope that happens. But for the sake of this episode, we wanted to talk about slow risers and Nishikigi.
Because Nishikigi is a slow riser.
Yes.
And we love slow risers.
What does that mean? Perhaps we should go into our main portion of our podcast now.
Let's do.
I think all of us this last tournament were really charmed by Nishikigi. More that, like, how was he there? And how was he competing? And he was in the mix. Like, he was in the lead. And everyone's like, Nishikigi? He's just kind of been around and competing, but he's not like high up in the ranks. And boy, this last time something clicked. And so slow riser means he is basically the Japanese love to have precedence. They like to know who has the record for this, the longest and the slowest. And apparently Nishikigi as the third slowest rise up to Sanyaku, and which made us laugh. We're like, they do a list for every possible like pathetic thing that anything could be counted. Anyway, but I thought the third slowest. So I thought we'd just remind you, we have an episode that we did a little special on Nishikigi, about Nishikigi. And I'm going to tell you about one other guy who was even slower.
Oh, okay, great. Great.
Figured, why not?
Yeah.
And then there's somebody even slower than this guy. And sadly, I could find nothing about him.
They didn't write about him?
Well, they don't like publish here are all the lists. They just tell you this is the slowest rise in history. But I was like, where's the book that has all the pathetic stats that you'd care
That's
about?
the Sumo database.
I looked, I tried to query, I tried to be like, who has the slowest? I was like, how could you figure out who has the slowest rise to Sanyaku? So I don't know if it's in the big book of sumo somewhere kept.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't.
Or maybe we'll call the Grand Sumo Breakdown guys and see if they can help us with that
Tell
query.
me who else was even slower than Nishikigi and this other guy in the two position. So Nishikigi joined sumo in 2006, and he made his upper division debut 9 years later, 2015.
I get it.
I mean, that's why we're doing this, is because I'm a slow learner. I'm not saying he's a slow learner. It's just some people get things quick, right? He's no monster of Reiwa. He did not come on the scene.
He's a sleeper.
Exactly.
He's a sleeper.
But it's like the tortoise and the hare. You know, the tortoise wins the race.
Yeah.
You know? And so why not celebrate those people all over the world and everything they do?
Yes.
That they just come to things later.
Yeah.
Because we all identify with that. He spent 2 years in each lower division and hung out in Makushita for actually 5 to 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. No, but it really does take a lot, though, to not be completely defeated and be like, no, I have this dream. Like, you want to talk about mental stability. That has to take an incredible amount of drive. You know how many guys quit before they get to that point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Makushita, you're not making any money. You know?
And he was there for 5 years.
5 to 6 years.
Wow.
I'm guessing he has gained skill and strength because he's gotten bigger, obviously, along the way. He spent 5 years in Makauchi, though languishing. Once he finally got up there, he languished for like 5 years at the bottom of Makauchi.
Okay.
He's 33 right now.
Okay.
he finally moved, not completely at the bottom. He had moved himself, mostly he was at the bottom. He had moved himself up a little bit to the top, and 2019 he had all Makikoshi records that send him back to Juryo for a couple of years. Then he was actually kind of turning in like mostly losing records. So if you look at his records, they're not
They're not great.
They're like my SAT scores. Okay. Maybe not the best. Okay. But a lot of this was during kind of the COVID years, and it could have been injury, but it could have also just been, what that was like for the wrestlers to all of a sudden not have the normal schedule and the sickness and being locked down. Like, who knows how all of that affected him. But that was all of 2021. But he did come back again, and he got mostly winning records after he came back up into Makuuchi, and he's been hovering in the upper ranks now, mostly turning in Kachikoshi records.
Okay.
Since 2021. So I guess that happens to a lot of guys. They move up the ranks, then they figure out low Makuuchi is not for them. Sometimes they just slide back down and never come back. And some guys continue to get better, hanging out at the top of Juryo and make their way back in.
True.
And I'm sure you all, if you've just started watching sumo, then you have seen in this last tournament how he was able to turn it on. He got an outstanding prize. He got a kimboshi. He has 2 kimboshis, Terunofuji and Kakeru, actually. He won a Makushita and a Juryo championship. So he's not nobody. He's doing pretty good. He's just kind of unassuming. But it's taken him 103 tournaments to get to Sanyaku. There's 6 tournaments a year.
Wow.
103.
That's an incredible stat.
I mean...
Well, and so many men don't ever get there.
No. I mean, what drive does he have? And one thing you should kind of remember is if you're not watching the backstage interviews, the man is really low vision.
Yes.
So it's quite possible that some of this you could attribute to that. He doesn't wear contacts. I've never understood why these guys don't wear like soft contacts. Like they do work. Soft contacts do work. But he goes out there, he takes his glasses off, he mounts the doyo, he fights with some sense and understanding of the ring, but he says he can't even really see the people in the crowd, which it alleviates his anxiousness and nervousness by not being up. So that is astoundingly bad vision. If you cannot see those crowds around you, right?
But that suggests to me that he can't see vision. I mean, duh. It suggests to me that he can't see distance.
Maybe.
So
it might.
So he might be okay wrestling then.
Maybe.
He just can't see distance.
Maybe.
Or
but,
if the person coming at you is a blur, maybe it's not so scary.
Well, right. Who was the big Yokozuna of years ago who had one eye that was functioning and the other one was completely blind? It was like Futabayama, like a legendary, I can't remember who it was. It was a legendary Yokozuna.
Yeah.
And he fought all those years, never telling anyone he had no vision in one eye.
Yeah.
He had just learned his body. This is how I fight. It was his normal, or it became his normal.
Yeah.
So that may be Nishikigi's way. He's just figured out how to make it work with his low vision.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that story.
I do want to tell you, though, as much as we love Nishikigi, I hope he's healthy. I hope he's back and he wins a tournament. I would love nothing more than that. And a lot of the guys really say he is so incredibly strong. He's improved his sumo wrestling. And I think it's his coach who said he basically started learning how to do sumo at 31 or 32. He's 33. I think it's like a backhanded compliment. But saying like it's taken him that long to really learn how to do sumo. But now that he's here, he knows he's really, really good.
Or maybe he's saying it took him that long to develop his own style. Right? He's been learning from others, perfecting all these different techniques. And it's not until he turned 31 that he was able to put it together in his own individual, unique way that could surprise his opponents every time.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
Okay.
I want to tell you about a guy who's even slower.
Okay.
He holds the second slowest rise up to Sanyaku, Koto Inazuma Yoshihiro. And he was a wrestler who became a komusubi after, 9 years? He was a late bloomer.
What years are we talking about here?
He was born in 62, so he's 61 years old now.
Okay.
He was at a Sadagatake stable. He made his debut in 1978. He retired in 1999. That was a 21-year career. Yeah, so longevity for this guy in general.
Okay.
His first appearance was, I guess, in 78, March of 78. And it took him till November 97 to reach Makauchi. 9 years.
Wow.
To reach Makauchi.
Did you say 97?
87.
87. Okay.
87.
I was going to say, if he reached it at 97 and then retired at 99, like he got to the top and then was like, I'm done. I'm done. I have nothing else to do.
Well, this guy has some real funny things that he did that I truly love because it shows his can-do spirit.
Which is really what sumo is all about.
Yeah. He also is recorded as one of a couple of guys who has had a 7-0 record and then immediately following it up with a 0-7.
See, that I get. I totally get that. Like, you think you're doing so well. Oh, and then it all falls apart.
He earned, finally, after 100 tournaments, he got a special prize, an outstanding performance award in 94.
After 100 tournaments?
After 100.
This is very similar to Nishikigi.
Yes. So Nishikigi was 103.
Yeah.
It took him 106 tournaments to get up to Sanyaku.
Remarkably close.
Komusubi.
Okay.
And that was his only tournament in Sanyaku. So I just identify with this guy on so many levels. And he had a losing record in that tournament of 6-9.
Oh.
But he did beat a Yokozuna.
Oh, he did?
He did have his first and only win over the Kanahana.
Was this guy's eyesight poor as well?
No. He joined the Azutsu stable at 14 years old.
Okay.
So this guy spent about 3 years in the very lower. And then once he got to Makushita in 81, he stayed in Makushita for like 4 or 5 years and then Juryo for 4 years or whatever. Then he was a Maegashira for a really, really long time. He bumped down, but from 88, he made his debut, I guess, in 87. And then he stayed there. And he was Maegashira 9, Maegashira 3. He was all over the place.
Okay.
Mid-ranks, like a real veteran player.
Yeah.
But he had 1 or 2 like little bumps down to Juryo when he had injury. But he hung in there, kind of like Okinoumi or somebody who's like just a mid-ranker who's been there for a really long time.
Okay.
But he hovered towards the top as well. And then after he dropped out of the rank of Maegashira in 98, he went back down to Juryo for 4 tournaments and then retired in Juryo. The best part about what he did is that he kept changing his shikona. And he also holds a record for having the most shikona changes.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, if you want to get higher in the ranks, you change your name.
If you have bad luck. So guess how many?
7.
More.
14.
No. 9.
9 different names? Oh, those poor announcers. Can you imagine? What's his name?
He'd do
week?
like a couple of tournaments and be like, Kaiman Dake is not working. Let's try Hoshi Kabuto.
Oh.
Nope. Let's go really different. Satsumo Fuja. Nope. I'm going to go Hoshi Satsuma. A little bit of the, nope. I like Oi Wato. No, let's go back Hoishi Wato. I like that. I'm going to riff on that. And then I'm going to get rid of the Owato and then go back to Hoshi Kabuto. And again, he finally found himself back at Hoshi Wato again.
Oh, my Lord.
That is a record. That's an official record. He holds the most changed names.
Oh, my God. So not only is he one of the slowest risers, he is top of the list for name change. So he's a slow riser and he's way out in front too.
Yes. Yeah.
So that means Nishikigi somehow is way out in front in something. We just have to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
It might be best sumo with worst eyesight or something.
It might. I don't know. I don't know. But he, as a coach, he also was subpar.
Oh no. How?
Well, he had a record of basically 50-50, you know? And if you look at his 552 wins in his career and 549 losses.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty amazingly 50-50. But he became Oyakata, I think, at Michinoku.
Okay.
And he oversaw promotion of 2 wrestlers. Now, they were foreign guys from like Argentina.
Okay.
And he brought them up to Juryo. But that's like the most success. But there's kind of like this sad story. What said when he was running a stable, they didn't have like many finances. They didn't have like enough money. It said that his wrestlers, he couldn't afford to feed them chanko nabe. So he would send them to McDonald's and they would eat McDonald's.
Was Ura in his stable?
I don't know. But I was like, oh man, but he finally, I think, left officially, I think. I don't know, maybe he's around, but he runs a restaurant. I think he left sumo because another Ozeki Kirishima, I think, ran him out of the business and then he left officially because he was like, I'm not that great of a coach. Or I'm good enough, but maybe he's not good on the publicity and all the other stuff you got to do.
Yeah, maybe his heart wasn't into it.
Maybe he'd been in it for a really, really long time.
Maybe he was sick of guys being like, dude, you're a slow riser. You're not very good.
I know people probably gave him a whole bunch of crap for like
I'm sure
taking
they
his
did.
path, you know?
Yeah.
Guys don't always get tons of respect that have been in the game for a really long time.
Yeah.
They get discredited because they're not fiery. They're not straight out of the gate. They don't have maybe natural gifts like some of these young guys like Hakuho does or whatever that is.
I mean, if they're talking negatively about Kota Nowaka and
They talk negatively about everybody.
Hoshoryu, and I mean, all those guys that are at the top right now, if they're saying they're not performing at their highest, imagine what they would be saying to someone like that.
Right.
If anything at all.
Right. Right. So it can be brutal, but especially in those years too. I watched a little bit. One of our listeners sent us like an old video of Takamiyama back in the 70s. And it shows like this terrible sort of abuse in the system and like hazing and the stuff I hate watching. And it makes you think about guys who were in it for this long, but in it when those standards of abuse were just prevalent and, you know, just across the sport, you know, that was it. So not only is he a tough guy, but like for 21 years
to be in that,
and for so many of them, the first 10 or something, just 10 years non-paying. Somebody's tsukebito, somebody's making chanko nabe all day long. Just that is a grind. But in the post career, I would bet that guy has staying power. You cannot get anything past that guy. He's like, I can handle anything.
No, that's true. And that would be if Nishikigi won this Basho. It truly would be a Cinderella story, wouldn't it?
It would be. It would be.
Because he spent just as many years working his way up, making chanko for others.
Yeah. I wonder if I saw him fight.
Oh, he was fighting when you were there?
He retired in 99, and I watched sumo in 98. I saw the tournament in 98.
Well, look at his webpage and see what he did that year in 1998 if he was still in Makauchi, and then you will know, huh?
Yeah, it was May. Yep. Mm-hmm. He was Makauchi.
You saw him then?
I saw him. Maegashira 14. I did. And he had a winning record.
Oh my gosh, he did well
7
when you were there.
Yes.
I love it.
There's one guy who will be unnamed. We have no idea what his name is. I'm sure somebody will write in and be like, this is the guy you're looking for, who has the absolute slowest rise up to Sanyaku. And
But it's probably like so close. Like it just took him 107 tournaments to
let's
get
hope.
there.
If it's like 150, I'll be like, whoa, that is incredible. But that's my little special on our slow risers of sumo. Not to be discredited, not to be discounted. They are just as strong. And I'd say mentally, they've got to be even tougher than the guys at the top.
Agreed.
Who got there faster.
Agreed.
Here's to the slow ones, the slow to learn ones.
All right. I think that's perfect.
That's it. So reminder, get your bingo cards. We have like over 1,000 people that we let know that we've got bingo cards. So get on getting a card.
Yeah. And enjoy the basho, y'all, because it starts this week. I'll be watching right along with you. I can't wait to see how everybody does. There's a lot of injuries people are working around, but there's also a lot of excitement to watch. Do you want to pick a winner?
Oh, I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with Kirishima.
Okay, there it is. Leslie's prediction.
That's my prediction.
Is Kirishima. Well, if Kirishima wins, we'll have to do something nice for Leslie.
Who are you picking?
Oh, I actually have to pick?
Well, yeah. We got to pick our pony.
As much as I would really kind of like for it to be Hoshoryu,
Yeah.
I'd love for him to get 2 in a row. I really would.
Yeah.
It would be very exciting. I might pick Asanoyama.
Oh.
Although, no, I'm going to have to take that back because he's dealing with injury as well.
Not too bad. Just the big toe. And he's like, I'm not stopping. This train ain't stopping for nobody.
Oh, really? So it's not bothering him?
It's bothering him, but not, the drive is there.
Okay, wait. Let's talk about how much injuries are bothering people. Terunofuji, bothered by an injury.
Bothered. Yes.
Okay. Kurishima? No.
He seems to be okay.
Yeah, okay.
Ish. And Daisho?
Well,
ribs.
Takakeisho? Dealing with injuries. We haven't seen him practice. We haven't heard about him practice.
I think he was practicing. He was at the
Was he?
at the Soken. Yeah.
I think he's going to give it his all, but he's dealing with injuries still.
Yeah.
Hoshoryu?
He's fine.
No injuries that I know
He's
of.
fine.
Daisho? Rib?
He has not hardly
Right.
practiced.
Wakamoto Haru? Some injury? We're not quite sure.
Yeah.
He's mentioned something about back pain
Right.
that he's dealing with. So, I don't know. Koji Nawaka?
Okay. He's
Knee
healthy.
injury.
Oh, I thought he was okay.
He's been doing well, but is this his first time at Sekiwake? I don't know. He's a maybe. Nishikigi? Injured. Tobizaru.
This could be a weird one where
I can't imagine him winning.
imagine it either.
I just can't
But
imagine the
stranger,
flying monkey.
we've all witnessed Tokushoryu winning, so
I know. I still can't imagine Tobizaru winning. No matter how maybe it is. M1's Hokutofuji?
yeah. I kind of feel like Hokutofuji has a possibility, but I think again, Shona no Umi, Gonoyama, I think especially Shona no Umi, I think they're going to continue to make a splash.
That would be exciting if an M5 took it.
Yeah. I mean,
Because they're sharing M5 this
they
time.
jumped huge.
Yeah, they
you
did.
know? So I feel like they'll be ready to play. I don't think they're going to take it, but I just think they're going to have a good showing.
And then if we go towards the bottom of the list, maybe this is Atami Fuji's basho.
I would love
adore
nothing
that.
more than Atami Fuji
Yes.
getting the basho.
By the way, did you know that his sister is a sumo wrestler?
Mm-hmm. And she's just as adorable.
Yeah.
That
And
same
like
adorable.
really saucy.
Yeah.
Saucy and sassy.
Yeah. She's super supportive and yeah. Big
I would
fan.
love it. Okay. No, I'm going to stick with Asanoyama then. We'll see how he does.
All right.
Asanoyama. So there's our predictions. We'll see what really happens. And talk at you next week, y'all.
All right. I'm Leslie.
I'm Laurie. Bye.
Bye.
I have been trying to find our episode with Nishikigi, and I cannot find it, but I know we've done it because I can remember the photo of him that he drew of his wife. And I can remember reporting on that.
Right.
The fact that he stood in front of reporters and was like, this is my wife. She doesn't want to be famous, so I drew you a picture of her.
Oh,
and that
that's
is what
right.
made me fall in love with him.
Yeah.
And
And he's not the best artist.
No, not at all.
He's
That is
also
what-
a slow riser when it comes to art.
but I cannot find the episode.